Hi, I'm Merle Singer, who is producing this movie. Let me take a moment to speak personally with you. Seder night is probably the most widely celebrated holiday in the Jewish year. And why? Not because we're telling the greatest story ever told, which it is, or the family recipes whose delicious secrets we are tasting, or the effort we all went to be here tonight. It's not always easy or necessarily convenient to be Jewish. Seder night is all of these things. But the magic of Seder night is something far more important. It is you and the stories you bring to the table of your victories and even defeats. You are the magic as you tell the stories of how you and your family have not given up hope and how you have become the dream. So let me now continue with my story, and before the night is over, maybe, you will tell us yours.
Be the Dream is the story of a dream once thought to be lost, only to be rediscovered under a veil of fear and self-doubt. The American poet Langston Hughes said, "Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow." Judaism and Christianity, with Passover and Easter, each in their own distinctive way, carries the message, it is time to repair old wounds and rebuild the fragments of broken dreams. In a parody of Passover with Les Miserables, the Maccabees sing the Passover message, to never give up hope.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was high and life worth living. I dreamed that hope would never die. I dreamed that
Passover is the time when we are commanded to remember what it is to be a slave in the land of Egypt, to be a slave to another human being, or even a slave to old habits, practices, and beliefs. On Seder night we read, each person in every generation must regard themselves as having been personally freed from Egyptian slavery. To understand what this means, we have to understand the word Egypt, Mitzrayim, not only as a place on the map, but it is also a place in our human experience. The word Egypt in Hebrew, Mitzrayim, is from a word that means from narrow places. As such, Seder night is all about experiencing freedom from the narrow places of our lives.
when I was young and unafraid, and dreams were made and used and wasted. There was no ransom to be paid, no song unsung, no wine untasted.
We are consistently reminded on Seder night to remember that we have been slaves, that we have suffered broken dreams, that we know what it is to be locked into narrow places. Why? Why this constant reminder of a bitter past on this festive night of the Passover family gathering and Seder celebration? I'll tell you why. Because in remembering the pain and suffering, these are the memories that teach us the empathy necessary for us to have compassion upon the downtrodden. The memories of a painful past serve as a benchmark for the Jewish mission of Tikkun Olam, repair of the world. Acts of providing food, shelter, and clothing for the needy among us. For only if you yourself have felt the pangs of hunger or know of servitude to another, would you risk your family's comfort and safety to help another. Coming to see your neighbor as one for whom you have responsibility. And now my story for Passover of recovering dreams and not giving up hope. I grew up in northern Minnesota along the shore of Lake Superior. For almost one half a year, life was often a barren field, frozen with snow. Winter sports became a way of life for us. Often we'd put on our ice skates at home, skate down the snow-covered streets to the neighborhood flooded ice rink, or we would travel a few miles to the edge of town for a day of downhill skiing. When I put on my first pair of skis, they were narrow, carved slats, at least 6 feet long, attached by cables to soft leather boots. We rode up the hill holding on to a heavy rope tow, which with temperatures warming up to maybe 0 degrees, we felt lucky to be out on the 1 or 2 groomed hills that made up our local ski area. When I was rabbi in Philadelphia, I began sharing my love for skiing with my boys. As each reached the age of 5 or 6, I began teaching them to ski. When the weather report was for snow and the schools were closed, I closed the temple, loaded the boys in the family station wagon, and off we went to Jack Frost's ski area in the Poconos. Days passed and the years went by. Moving to Florida meant that our youngest Mark would have to wait until he was 12 years old to learn to ski, and we could afford to take the family out west to ski areas in Colorado or later Utah. The years rolled on, and soon the boys had families of their own to introduce and share the passion. Reruns became blues, and blues turned to blue-black, and soon the diamonds came into sight. In between, there were always trails through the woods.
And there's your black diamond right there, Isaac. Can you handle it?
Yeah.
All right, you want to push out? We got to go down this. You ready for it? Let's see you do some more. Wait, let me go on the bottom. Hold on, Isaac. I want to get some. It's me skiing. Not very well. Whoa. That was me falling. I saved your camera though, Dad.
Along with the NASCAR racing.
Here he comes, down the race course. Emily, you ready to do double diamond?
Now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you.
Into my 60s and early 70s, there was always one of my sons or grandchildren to ski the mountain. Then came Parkinson's disease and the dreaded day on the ski hill when the music stopped. As hard as I tried, I couldn't get my legs to make a simple turn. I finally was able to get help to return to the mountain base, but from then on, I knew I could no longer trust my body to respond to the commands of my brain. And I began to fear that this was only the beginning of not being able to do the things I so love to do. Struggling with this disease of the brain, I tried not to give up hope, but it was getting harder and harder to fight and not give up the dream. Every 3 hours, there are pills to be taken to give back to the brain the chemicals it lacks.
Happy birthday.
March 21st, 2014. It was son Mark's 40th birthday, and soon to be my 75th. He invited me to join him with his 2 oldest at the Stratton Mountain, Vermont ski resort. I came along for the birthday party celebration, to take pictures of his children learning to ski, and maybe, just maybe, try on a pair of skis myself, for old time's sake. It was clear to me that Parkinson's disease was progressing. Yesterday's dreams were becoming just that, the province of yesterday. And even if skiing came to pass, it would be a long way back up that mountain. And at my age, how many more years would there be for skiing? Well, riding up the little kid's magic carpet, a moving sidewalk up the bunny hill, the learn to ski area, I thought to myself, hey, what am I doing here? I just went out and got myself a handicap parking sticker for my car, 'cause there are days when I can barely walk. And here I am, her try to ski? Am I crazy? Or is this the new definition of chutzpah? What happened next was something short of a miracle. Mark arranged for me to have ski lessons with an instructor whose expertise is working with skiers with special needs. A young skier with cerebral palsy. She had been awarded a gold and bronze medal for the Paralympics London 2012. A blind skier. And a skier with autism. The name tag on his red ski instructor's jacket said Rob Willis, and then just 3 words: be the dream. The dream.
Are you skiing?
I'm skiing, I made it.
Are you skiing?
I'm skiing, I made it. Rob then told me about his personal encounter with brain disease. His daughter, Shapley Bridges, who died at the age of 5.5 from a very rare neurological disease. Then he said, we do have a small world where you do find persons that touch your heart and soul. Thank you, Merle. To which I responded, Rob Willis and his partner David Campbell, who also imparted me with a bit of the magic of reclaiming old dreams from the dustbin of lost hopes, were thanked by my son Mark.
Bring when tomorrow comes. Will you join in our crusade? Who will be strong and stand with me? Somewhere beyond the barricade, is there a world you long to see? Do you hear the people sing? Say, do you hear the distant drums? It is the future that they bring when tomorrow comes.